Hello friends, today I would like to talk about those books that in my opinion are most important to those who begin to study international relations. I have made a selection of 10 books. I tried to make it as diverse as possible and to include books from different schools of thought of theory of international relations. So here we go. First one is The End of History and the Last Man by Francis Fukuyama. This book expanding authors say The End of History, published in the National Interest Journal in 1989. The main idea of this book is that after the end of the Cold War and the collapse of Soviet Union, history was over, meaning the end point of mankind's ideological evolution and then universalization of Western liberal democracy as a final form of human government. The next one is The Clash of Civilizations and the Remaking of World Order by Samuel Huntington. This book perceived as an answer to Fukuyama's book, Huntington thinks that while the age of ideology has ended, but history is not, and international relations will be characterized by cultural and religious conflicts between different civilizations. Perception and Misperception in International Politics by Robert Jarvis seeks to demonstrate that decision-makers' perceptions of the world and of other actors diverge from reality in detectable patterns that may be understood. Jarvis analyzes the methods by which decision-makers process information and form, maintain and change their beliefs about international relations. Also, he examines several common misperceptions of decision-makers. Joseph Nye and his soft power, the means to success in world politics. Principal idea of this book is that in 21st century soft power, which arises from attractiveness of the country's culture, political ideas and policies, is just as important as hard power, which grows out of the country's military or economic might. The next one is one of my personal favorites, the book called Regions and Powers, The Structure of International Security by Barry Wizan and Ole Varver. In this book, authors review regional security complex theory. Those complexes are defined as distinct and stable patterns of security interaction between actors. They are distinguished from one another by degrees of interaction. As the name implies, regional security complexes are by nature geographical, consisting of neighboring actors and being insulated from one another by natural barriers, such as oceans, deserts and mountain ranges. Authors devoted individual chapters to such regional security complexes as Africa, the Balkans, CIS Europe, East Asia, European Union Europe, the Middle East, North America, South America and South Asia. Another great book is Social Theory of International Politics by Alexander Wend. It expresses a constructivist approach to the study of international relations that emphasizes the role of shared ideas and norms in shaping states' behaviors. After Hegemony, Cooperation and Discord in the World Political Economy by Robert Keohane. This book is a comprehensive study of cooperation among the advanced capitalist countries. The main question of this book is, can cooperation persist without the dominance of a single power, such as United States after Second World War? To answer this question, Keohane analyzes institutions or international regimes through which cooperation has taken place in the world political economy and describes the evolution of these regimes as American hegemony has eroded. Refuting the idea that the decline of hegemony makes cooperation impossible, he views international regimes not as weak substitutes for world government, but as devices for facilitating decentralized cooperation among actors. Edward Howlett Carr, an all-time classic, The 20 Years Crisis, 1919-1939, An Introduction to the Study of International Relations. This book is built around the theme of the world order in the interwar period. Carr begins his analysis with the optimism that followed the First World War as embodied in League of Nations declarations, aimed at the permanent prevention of military conflict. He proceeds to demonstrate how rational, well-conceived ideas of peace and cooperation among states were undermined in short order by the realities of chaos and insecurity in the international relations. By assessing the military, economic, ideological and juridical facets and applications of power, Carr brings harsh criticism to bear on utopian theorists who forget to consider the exigencies of survival and competition. John Mearsheimer The Tragedy of Great Power Politics. In this book, author explains and argues for his theory of offensive realism by stating its key assumptions and its predictive capability. He readily acknowledges the inherent pessimism of offensive realism and its predictions because his world is one in which conflict between great powers will never see an end. And last but not least, Kenneth Waltz, Man, the State and War. These were classified theories of the causes of the war into three categories, or levels of analysis. Waltz refers to these levels of analysis as images and uses the writings of one or more classic political philosophers to outline the major points of each image. These levels are individuals, states, and international system. Each image is given two chapters. The first uses mainly the classical philosophers' writings to describe what that image says about the cause of war, and the second was Waltz analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of that image. As a bonus, I would like to recommend for those of you who really like to dive into stuff, a book 50 Key Thinkers of International Relations by Martin Griffiths. This book gives a good perspective on different schools of thought in international relations. Book is well structured and very helpful in studying theories of international relations. If you like to see my review on any of these books I have mentioned in this video, please write it in the comments. Let's make our knowledge flow. See you soon.